Okay, so we're back and ready for our next 4 set of Zentangles. These ones are going to be a little bit more challenging, but still very doable. Make sure that you have a pencil, both Sharpies, an eraser, your paper to work on, potentially a sheet of paper to put underneath because Sharpie does go through the surface you're working on top of. So make sure you have something under there to protect whatever you're working on. Okay, so let's get started. So as you know, I always like to start with pencil because then I can go in and adjust things. So for this one, we're going to start by doing some gently curved lines. And I feel like we have been doing a lot of gently curved lines lately. Seems like that comes up a lot in our warm-ups and in the drawings we're doing right now. So just a gentle curve. I'm going to try and space these out equally. And I'm just going to keep going till I hit the end. Okay? And now what we're going to do is we're going to come back the other way and we're going to cross them with gentle curved lines going in this direction. Okay, so I'm going to continue spacing those. I'm just doing this freehand and doing the gentle curves on my paper till I run out of space. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to outline that in black with our Sharpie, and then we're going to come back for the next step. Okay, so I've outlined over top of my pencil with my fine point Sharpie, and the next step is literally just to go into these boxes and draw an upside down V or the top of a triangle. So I'm going to turn my paper to show you how I like to do it for my own sense of being. And what I like to do is turn my paper and go in here and just sketch with my pencil the shape of a triangle. Okay, so I'm going to do that in each of these boxes. You have to think about where those would be placed because you're not going to see the full shape when you do it. So when you put the top of that triangle in, that should form a diamond essentially. Okay, so I'm going to finish these up. I'm going to outline them with Sharpie and we're going to come back and we're going to see what it looks like. Okay, so I have finished up drawing my shapes in here. And what I'm going to do next is I am going to use a line to connect from the top of the triangle here to the top of the triangle there. So I'm just doing a straight line like that. Okay, I'll finish these up and we'll come back and see what it looks like. Okay, so here it is. I just have 1, 2, 3 little ones to put in here. So I'm going to do a straight line coming down from these just to continue that effect. And then what I'm going to do next is I am going to color in these diamonds inside of the box. So these will get fully colored in using my thicker Sharpie. Okay, so I'll finish these up and we'll take a look at what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so that's what it looks like when it's done. So it's not that hard, but the hard part about it is that it begins to play tricks on your eyes a little bit, like optical illusions do as you're working on it. So if you make a mistake, you can always practice it again. I wouldn't worry too much about it on this one if you make a mistake. When you finish it up, you do want to go back in with your eraser, hold your hand flat, move in one direction with that eraser to pull out any pencil lines that need to go away so that you have a nice clean presentation. Okay, so now we'll do our next one. So we're going to work in our next box. And for this one, let me decide what we're doing and I'm going to come back and show it to you. Okay, so for this one, we're going to do something, a design called a fluke. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by drawing an X in our rectangle. Okay, from there, I'm going to draw a diamond. So I'm just going to mark about the center point on each of these. And I'm just going to connect those. Okay, so we have this set up. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to go into our diamond shapes and we are going to outline 3 times. I'm going to go like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here's what this is going to look like. We'll take our fine point Sharpie, trace over our pencil lines that we just laid out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to color the last diamond that's left in solid black. Okay, so now we're going to do this on the rest of them. And for this one, I'm going to go ahead and work the rest of the time in Sharpie in these boxes. And then we'll see what these look like when they're finished. So I'll do this next box for you to follow along and then I'll pause it and we'll come back. So 1, 2, 3. This is going to get colored in black. Okay, so we'll see what this looks like in a minute. Okay, so for these next boxes, I'm going to work in pencil and I'll walk you through because it gets a little bit more confusing to think about. So we're still thinking about those 1, 2, 3 shapes, but we're going to have to work in reverse because we're seeing the bottom of the diamond as opposed to the top. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to sketch in with my pencil the bottom diamond that would be in there. Okay. So that would be 1, 2, and we're not going to see the third one because it would be up there. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to sketch in the top of that diamond. Then I'm going to go, so this is 1, 2, we might just see a touch of the third one. Okay. So now we're going to come over here where we're seeing half of this. So we can start here. 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be black right here. Same thing over here. 1, 2, 3. So this will be black. And if you need to adjust those lines, you can before you do them in Sharpie. Same thing over here. We see a half a diamond, so we're going to see just half here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then when we come down here, we're only seeing the top of it, so we're going to start 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, so let's check back in and see what this looks like once it's colored. Okay, so I've gone ahead and finished this up. I finished coloring in all the black, and I marked out the sections that would be white, and I used my eraser to pull out any pencil line that was left behind. So now we're going to move on to our next design, so we'll be back in a second to see that one. Okay, so I'm having a hard time deciding which 2 designs to show you next. There are so many great designs. I could keep doing these Zentangles forever because there are a lot of really cool designs. But I'm going to do 2 that are fairly different from the ones we have on the page. So for this one, it's just a web essentially, and we are going to draw a curved letter X going from corner to corner. Again, you know I always like to start with pencil. Okay. From here, what I'm going to do next is I am going to draw a line going through the center point. I'm going to curve it and go through there like so. Okay, and then we are going to do a line through the center of this that's curving just slightly in this direction. So everything's just slightly curved. We've been talking about those slightly curved lines a lot. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go from corner to corner and do a curve. So from this corner, we're going to come down to here. We're going to do another curve here. So I'm just curving from all of those lines the next one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to keep going until we hit the center. So I'll leave a little bit of space. I'm going to exaggerate those curves. This one got a little flat over here. I'm going to make sure it touches with this one. Come down. Up again. So they're always connecting back to the line before it. So it's going to start here, curve. So my next line is going to start here and curve. Here, curve. And then I've got to finish back at this one. Okay, let's do a few more. And we can probably do one more, maybe 2. All right, so now I'm just going to go back in with my Sharpie and I'm going to outline it. We'll see what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so I just finished up the web and it is all done, and now I'm ready to show you the last design, which looks kind of like a basket weave. So it's pretty different from anything else we've done. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to turn my paper like this. You can too if you want. We're going to start moving in a diagonal line. And and we're going to do sets of 4 curved lines. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what we do is we go in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice I'm trying to keep them approximately the same width. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay. So then what we're going to do is when we come here, we are going to be going in the opposite direction. So if I was going vertically curved lines, now I'm going to do my horizontal ones. 1, 2, 3, and we don't see the last one. So here I'm going to go, these are horizontal, that means these are going to go vertically. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, so now we're going to switch it again. So I'm going to start here. These are vertical, so these are horizontal. 1, 2. We're not going to see the full thing. Come down here. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go horizontally. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay. So what we have here, we would do a horizontal. 1, 2, 1. Okay. We're going to continue with that pattern until we fill the paper up. Then we're going to use our fine point Sharpie to go over it. So we'll check back here in a second to see what it looks like when I finish it. Okay, so that's what it looks like once I've gone back over it with my fine point Sharpie and I've erased all of my pencil. We get a pattern that looks like this. So a lot of different options here. I want you to practice all 8 of these. You're going to submit those for me to review, and then I'm going to encourage you to check out some other Zentangles. There are a lot of them out there, a lot of different patterns, and you may find that there are others you'd like to use on your final project. So go ahead and practice the other ones that you think are really cool and you might want to use because it's just going to make your artwork better. All right, I look forward to seeing what you create.